Hello and welcome to More Yoga Fitness. My name is Kathy. Today we're going to be doing a warm-up stretch for cyclists. Cycling can be taxing on the body, so we're going to be doing some moves that are going to prepare you to be ready for the demands of biking. We are going to start with 3 tools today. A pillow, you're going to need a block or stackable books, and a tennis ball or some sort of a ball. So go ahead and grab those pieces of equipment and we'll get started. Today we're going to start in cat-cow. So go ahead and lower your belly, lift your crown and tail. On your exhale, round through the spine into cat. Cycling can be quite taxing on the body, especially on the thoracic spine. So this stretch is great for the mid-back, which gets very tight. Feel free to do a few more rounds and pause the video at any time. Go ahead and tuck your toes, walk your hands slightly forward, and come into downward facing dog here. A really nice stretch for your back, the entire back sides of your legs, and I'm pedaling out my dog here by bending opposite knees and shifting my hips side to side. For our next stretch, we're going to need our pillow. Go ahead and place it on the floor. And we're going to be doing a kneeling lunge here for a nice opener with our hip flexor and our psoas. This is going to help you in your biking. Your legs never really go to a full extension, so this is going to actually help you with that area. We're going to lean forward so that our hip is forward of our knee joint and place the pillow gently underneath our knee to make it a little more comfortable. Tilt your pelvis forward, clasp your hands and draw them to the side of your hip. Take your gaze down. From here, I'm going to place my hand on my back side, open up my neck, and shift that hip just a little bit more forward. We're going to dynamically stretch here, bending into the front knee, and then bringing our hip above our knee, moving forward and back, providing that hip flexor with just a little bit more range of motion. Good job. We're going to move on to side B. So placing the pillow underneath the knee, starting with your knee above ankle on both sides, and then shifting your hip slightly forward of your knee so you can really feel that stretching through the hip flexor. Clasping the hands and bringing them to the outside of your hip, gazing down. Placing your hand on your low back, taking your gaze up, opening your neck. We're going to begin with those dynamic movements, starting with the hip above the knee and then bending into that front knee, shifting forward and back. Do a few more. Make sure you're breathing as you're moving here. Really great job. For our next series of stretches, we're going to need our yoga block. So go ahead and grab a block or a couple stackable books. Reason being is we're going to take hero's pose. And for many of you, especially cyclists, the knees aren't going to bend quite as much as you would like. So placing a block underneath your tailbone is going to lift your hips up a little higher. We're going to reach our hand up and bring it right down the center of the spine. I'm going to turn around to show you. We're also going to be stretching here our triceps, which tend to get tight and tense if you're holding on too tight in your low stance on your bike. So go ahead and remain in hero's pose. We stretch side A, and now we're going to go to side B. Gently pulling on the opposite elbow. And try taking your gaze up toward the sky when you're in this stretch. Just gives you a little bit deeper stretch. Go ahead and release. Great job. For our next stretch, we're going to use our pillow. So go ahead and place it in your lap. We're going to flex the toes to the face and place the pillow where we can gently lie our chest into our lap. Breathe in as you reach up. Lift your rib cage away from your lower back, and on your exhale, fold. This stretch is going to be really nice for your low back. Maybe you might want to modify by folding opposite forearm on top of one another, or reaching those arms a little bit more forward of your pillow or behind your feet. So take this pose as best you can as you fold down. Breathe in as you lift the crown of the head away from your torso. Exhale as you drop your chest deeper into your thighs. Inhale as you reach up and release. We're going to need our pillow again for this next pose. Go ahead and recline down on the floor. We're going to place the pillow underneath our tailbone, coming into what's called Supta Baddha Konasana in yoga. It's simply splaying your knees out wide, and we're bringing our arms into cactus arms, which is a great release on the shoulders, which typically become tense when you're biking long distances. The opening up of the legs opens up your inner thigh and groin, a great release there. And for some of you, if you want a little more intensity, just the gentle weight of your hands on the inner thigh can provide just enough weight to open up that inner thigh and groin just a little more. Make sure you're breathing deeply here. Fold your legs together like a book, and we'll rock the knees to one side and press up away from the mat. Nice work. For our next poses, we're going to use a sturdy chair. So I want you to go ahead and bring the chair to one side. We're going to stretch out our quad here, which obviously the quads work extra hard when we're biking. Go ahead and tilt your pelvis forward toward your chair back as you face the chair back, and bring your heel closer to your glute. Retract your shoulder blade back. And keep the knees tightly together. We're going to move here dynamically in this pose, drawing the knee forward, level with the hip, and then down toward the floor, moving back and forth, breathing as we move. Just a few more rounds. And release your leg. Dig your heel into the earth and slide your hand all the way down your leg. We're coming into a hamstring stretch here. So go ahead and grab onto either your big toe with your peace fingers or your whole hand on the bottom of your foot. I'm facing the chair back now and dynamically moving by bending into my opposite knee and shifting my sitting bones back and forth. Doing these dynamic stretches really increase your range of motion. Release. Taking your outside leg and crossing it in front, we're going to stretch our IT band here. Reach your hand up and over, bringing your bicep to your ear, and continuously try to shift your hips away from your chair back. Breathe here. Both feet are planted firmly into the earth. And release. We're going to do those poses on the other side. Taking your hand and grabbing the top of your foot. Knees are tight. Tilt your pelvis toward your chair back. Draw your heel closer in towards your glute. And breathe here. Shoulder blades retract. We're going to begin those dynamic movements here. So slowly bringing yourself to face forward. Inhale as you lift your knee up level with the earth and down toward the floor, back and forth. Just a few more times. Go ahead and release gently your foot. Dig your heel into the earth. Sliding your hand down your leg. Find the sole of your foot or peace fingers to big toe. And we're going to face the chair back now and bend into the opposite knee as we shift our sitting bones back. Really stretching into that hamstring and increasing our flexibility with this dynamic movement. Slowly coming to standing. And we're going to take our outside leg and cross it in front, stretching our IT band. Our hip is sent away from our chair back. And we draw our bicep to the air as we laterally bend. Such an awesome stretch. Release as you come to a straight spine. Uncross. We're going to use our chair for these last couple of stretches. We're going to move our leg forward and back like a pendulum with our toe and kneecap pointing up toward the sky and then the floor. Just use the weight of your leg to swing your leg forward and back, really opening up the hip, loosening up those legs and hips. Continue with a few more. And we'll turn so that we can pendulum swing in front of our standing leg, keeping the foot flexed, kicking out and using the weight of your leg to swing across your midline and out. Crossing ankle over the knee, we're going to take a standing pigeon pose here, stretching the hip and the glute. You can release the chair for a little bit more of a balance challenge if you choose. And we'll release and do those on the other side. Let's start with our pendulum swing. Kicking the leg up and back at your highest range of motion, using the weight of your leg, swinging back and forth. A few more rounds. Turning the torso so that we can pendulum swing across our midline. Doing a few more. Keeping the foot flexed. and keeping your range of motion as large as you can. Crossing ankle over the knee, sitting the sits bones toward the earth, and taking that standing pigeon. Perhaps you release the hand from the chair. Great work. Our last stretches are for the feet, which are cramped up in those biking shoes. So placing our tennis ball underneath the right foot, roll forward and back from heel to ball of foot. Then take it into a circular motion, one direction. Stop and take it the other direction. If you have any soreness in any part of your foot, go ahead and press into that pressure point with the tennis ball. It should release some of that tension. And let's move to the other side. Begin with those forward and back motions from heel to ball of foot. Rolling in one direction. Stop and take it in the other direction. Taking time to pause and pressing the ball into those tense areas of the feet, trying to release with gentle pressure. Thanks a lot for joining me today for this cycling stretch. I hope you enjoyed it. The next time you're in this position, think of me and return back to this nice stretch so that you always feel great before you head out on the road. Thanks for watching.